Rams house. We are back in the studio because after we filmed the video that you're about to watch, we got some breaking news. Obviously, the video you're about to watch is focused primarily on the upcoming Rams new logo and new uniform changes. And hilariously enough, and just our luck here on this channel, as we're filming, we get some breaking news from the one and only Zach Cohen, the king of NFL logo and uniform leaks. And he says, hey, Rams fans, I'm told the team plans to unveil logo and primary uniform changes the morning of April 16th. Their alternate uniforms will still come later this offseason. And he follows up with, man, it's about time. And damn, it is. Which, hey, I talked about that a lot in today's video. In some portions that, not to toot my own horn, I think you'll have some fun watching as we kind of go after the Rams for being a little bit slower on this than usual. But I'm going to apologize for how harsh some of the portions of this video were, because it looks like the Rams were a little more on top of things than they were the last time they had to rebrand and release new uniforms. But B, I wanted to come at you guys and give you this update, but I have another update to give you. So as I was prepping to film this, a source reached out to me on Twitter, very close to the Rams organization, someone I trust a lot. And not only did they confirm what Zach Cohen was saying here, they added some more information for me and gave me some permission to give it out to you guys. So that's exactly what I want to do. The first thing you need to know, the Rams' new uniform and logo will be released on the morning of the 16th, 100% fact. On the 15th, that's tomorrow, as we're filming this, we're going to get 2 videos from the social media channel, most likely. Both of those videos will be previews. One will announce the release date of the uniform and the logo, and the other one will confirm that, or will show off the player reactions to the new uniform. I don't think it's going to be this one yet. Like Zach Cohen said, this is the alternate that'll probably come midway through the season, but keep your eyes peeled for another rollout of this one. But we will be getting at the block party corresponding with the date of the release. So if you're attending the fan block party out in the Los Angeles area, you're going to have the opportunity. My source confirms to me 100% all of the new merch, all of the new jerseys, those will be available for purchase at that retail pop-up, which is something I speculated would be the case in this video, but he was able to 100% confirm that for me. So I can pass that off, not as speculation, but as confirmed, fact to you guys. That also will include the release of the new era draft cap, the highly anticipated, leaked several months ago, new era draft cap will be coming out on the 16th as well, corresponding with the official announcement of the logo and uniform, which, again, that's something that we kind of speculated. Like, what else was new era waiting on at the end of the day, if not the Rams to do an official rollout and an official announcement? So that pretty much covers all of our bases. Now you are prepared for everything that the Rams have coming over the next couple of days, and also for the rest of this video. So just keep that in mind as you are greeted by non-jacket wearing Jackson in just a minute or two here, that we were filming before all of this information came out. We didn't quite have that context, but I couldn't live with myself if we were going to put out a video that gave you guys information that wasn't fully up to date. So we had to get in here and film a little cold open for you guys and take care of that, get you back up to speed, as it were. And so I'm going to leave you with non-jacket wearing Jackson, and I will see you guys in the next one. Rams fans, change is on the horizon for this team as far as logos and branding goes. We know that. We've known it for a while. The Rams filed for uniform change back in November of last year. Shout out Zach Cohen on Twitter, who's always on top of the news and rumors when it comes to NFL logos and uniforms, for making that public alongside the other teams that did file. But speaking of those other teams, we've progressively seen them release their new uniforms, release their new logos, continue moving in their new directions, while it's been radio silence on the Rams front. at least until today. There was a little news today that continues to point in a direction for this logo that I am not a fan of at the end of the day, that I have told you guys already I am not a fan of, and it just seems like every time we get more news, it continues to point in that way. So we're going to get the show started with the new news around the logo, the new rumors around the logo, really, since nothing's confirmed at this point. There's still technically rumors, but I think it will be soon. And we'll talk about that at the middle of today's show. Before finishing out with a mock draft roundup, I want to see what some experts are saying about the Rams' first round pick, because I think it's really interesting. We also put out our own 7-round mock draft today if you want to see what this sometimes called expert on the Rams thinks about the draft as well. But let's roll into some logo rumors. So I know we're a little hard to see here on this Bud Light ad, but Bud Light put out their "Your Draft is on the Clock" ad today with all these draft cans. I believe these are the design that's going to be on their annual team-to-team Bud Light cans that they release around the draft as well, although they're on, obviously, kegs, excuse me, that's the word I'm looking for, in this photo. But you can see fading towards the back, the last one in the visible row on the first row is the Los Angeles Rams, and that logo on it, hard to see though it may be, is the new one. It is the new solid yellow logo that has been rumored to be replacing the existing gradient logo. And for those of you who are rushing to the comments right now to say, that logo's not actually new, it's been in the logo set for the last 3 years. I know. It has been. You're 100% correct. You got me, buddy. However, it is new as the primary logo. So we are going to continue to refer to it as the new logo for the Rams, if everyone is okay with me doing that. But I tweeted this out earlier today when this news initially broke, Bud Light posting this ad at around 11 a.m., and I got around to it at around 2 p.m., and I saw it, and I tweeted, the new Bud Light ad for the NFL Draft has a Rams can feature with the team's rumored yet still unannounced new logo. Just wonder what the Rams are waiting on to announce it at this point. And we're going to get into that more in a second, but first, behooves mentioning, if you want the latest Rams draft news, latest Rams news in general, make sure you drop a follow on Twitter. I'll have my Twitter in the description as well as in the pinned comment. That I'm tweeting about the Rams all the time over there, whether it's brand new news, me reacting to different things. I'm trying to be more active on that side of the platform. Was recently ranked as a true ball knower in the Rams tier list of accounts. So appreciate that, and hopefully I will see you out on those Twitter streets. Drop a follow for me. But again, like I said here, I wonder why they're waiting to announce it. We've known what the draft cap has looked like for weeks at this point. When did we talk about the draft cap when it originally leaked? Was it February? It was a long time ago at this point. It has been a while since we originally found out, hey, it's pretty likely that the Rams' new logo is going to be a solid yellow look. Again, one that they've had in the logo arsenal for a couple years, but seem to be transitioning to. And it does kind of represent a shift across the NFL away from gradient-style logos in general. The era of the gradient was pretty short-lived, and it seems to be going away across the league. So this seems to be the Rams' answer to that. But why not confirm it? We continue to see other teams, even teams that didn't actually file for official uniform changes this season. The Eagles got uniform news last night. This drove me up a wall, seeing Ari Meirov tweet out the Eagles have made an update to their word mark on jerseys, adding a black outline. Must be nice to be an Eagles fan and get to know what your new jersey's going to look like and your new logo's going to look like. That's really, really cool. Man, I wish I could join that club, alongside the other members of the NFC East, the Washington Commanders, who got another really cool alternate logo announced today. That thing has a spear running through it. That's super dope, man. I want a logo that's that cool for this team. And it doesn't have to have a spear in it. That doesn't make any sense for us. But like at the end, you know what I'm talking about. What is taking so long for the Los Angeles Rams to get this logo out? Every other team can do it. The Baltimore Ravens can do it, and they've spent half their offseason lying about trading for Max Crosby, and they still found a way to find a time to release a new uniform, and hopefully alongside it, maybe even a new logo. That'll come out on April 16th. So in the next 2 days, the 15th and the 16th, the Commanders and the Ravens will both be celebrating cool new logo releases, and we will still be sitting here on our fucking hands, for lack of a better word, with no new logo and no new jersey. What is taking so long? At the end of the day, and I'm talking to you, Kevin Demoff, president of the Rams, head of marketing, what is taking so long? Why is it taking so long for the Rams to get this done? To be honest with you, I think there is one reason. I think they're waiting for the block party. I think that's my last hope. If we're going to get this before the draft, my last hope, the last chance is the block party. It has to be, right? April 23rd through April 25th will be the fanfare end of it, but the whole block party runs through the 26th or 16th through the 23rd. So it could be in the next couple days, as early as Thursday. And the reason I think it could be happening then is, and you know, at this point, I'm kind of seeming like that guy from Always Sunny with the whiteboard and pointing to a bunch of conspiracy lines because this is pretty tangential. But the event description says this: enjoy an immersive brand experience, a retail pop-up, and a fanfare featuring carnival-style rides and games, including a Ferris wheel and super slide. Retail pop-up and immersive brand experience are the two things that I'm really locking in on there as a possibility for them to announce it. But I want to hear from you before we dive deeper on this. Are you going? Are you going to the Rams fan block party? Let me know in the comments if you're local in the LA area. We are not. We're out here in Dallas, so I really wish that I could attend the fan block party. It sounds like it'll be an absolute blast, especially if what I think might happen there is going to happen. But let me know in the comments if you're getting the opportunity to go out there. I would love to know what it's like. If you're following me on Twitter, which I mentioned earlier, tweet at me and let me know. Send me some photos from it. I would love to see what the block party ultimately ends up being like, because I think it could feature an announcement of both the new logo, confirmed as the primary logo. We're finally going to get that at the end of the day, I think. And beyond that, I think we're also going to get the jerseys. I think we are going to get the new jerseys. The rumored alternate yellow jersey, I think, will be announced and hopefully maybe even be available for sale at this retail pop-up at the fan block party. I think that's, again, this is not sourced information. I'm not coming to you saying I have sources within the Rams organization that are telling me this is all going to be announced at the fan block party. It's just a theory at the end of the day. A game theory, if you're a long-term YouTube viewer, but I think it could be true. I think there is a chance that this is the way they play it out. And if they don't, then at the end of the day, we're going to be waiting until after the draft to get the logo and the new jersey. And our first-round draft pick, if they do walk the stage, is going to be there with an outdated logo and an outdated jersey, which... bad look. Again, this goes back to, if you're wondering, like, why does any of this matter? At the end of the day, it's not the most important thing in the world. Obviously, we're having a little bit of fun with this, trying to be a little funny here. But you do want to have the updated jerseys and merch out. It's just a better look for your fan base and for your team, not having your draft pick go out there with outdated stuff that he's not even actually going to wear during his first season. I think it should be as simple as that. I think we do need to get these released as soon as possible. If for no other reason than I'm just tired of waiting at the end of the day. I am tired of waiting for this. I'm ready to be disappointed, Rams. Disappoint me now, please. All right, let's get into the mock draft roundup section of today's show. I want to take a look at some of the other insiders and what they're projecting for the Rams. And you'll notice it's a lot of different stuff. PFF went Jordyn Tyson in the mock draft that they released this past weekend, the Arizona State receiver at 13th overall. None of these guys traded down to make their selection, so all of these were done at 13th. Tyson, you know, we talked about him a lot. I have my reservations about the injury history with him, but the on-field talent and the on-field tape is truly unbelievable. Like, I totally understand if you just want to put that all to the side. I understand not having him as your number one receiver. I can totally see how people would get to that point over Cardinal Tate, over Makai Lemon, because if he could stay healthy, I could absolutely see that being a path for him. But I struggle to see the Rams taking that kind of chance when Puka Nacua has already missed time in every season of his NFL career due to injuries. And we know, and I hope that's not a pattern for Puka in his career, but can you take a chance on it not being after it's already been a pattern to this point? Next, Fox Sports went KC Concepcion out of A&M. Another interesting option. You're starting to see this guy really skyrocket draft boards over the last couple of weeks. We're seeing the A&M receiver really rise quickly. He is, like I said, a slot in past videos. We've talked about him as well as Makai Lemon, who we'll talk about in just a minute, being primarily slot options for this Rams team. They're not really going to be able to play on the outside. That would require Puka to move back out to the outside. And 13 for Concepcion, like with Tyson, because of the injury history, it's just a little early for me. And that's mostly, unlike with Tyson, where injury history is what pushes him down my board. KC Concepcion, it's more on the field stuff. I worry about his ability to win against press coverage at the NFL level. I worry about his ability to win contested catches at the NFL level. Those are the two things. And the drop issues with him are always going to be a red flag as well. Over a 10% drop rate the last 2 seasons. Makai Lemon, CBS went with I feel like, hey, if there's one guy we go back to more than anybody on this channel, it is Mr. Makai Lemon out of USC. I know a lot of you guys are enormous fans of him being USC Rams fans, which I totally understand, but I don't think you have to be a USC fan to get behind the Biletnikoff Award winner from last season. He is unbelievably talented, what he can create for you with the ball in his hands after the catch, what he can create for you off of screens in the RPO game. He is just a awesome receiver. Athleticism is not going to jump off the page for you at the end of the day, but the tape more than makes up for any sort of statistical testing numbers that might be holding him back, in my opinion. Monroe Freeling for USA Today, the first offensive tackle. Hey, we knew it was inevitable. At least one of these guys was going to go with an offensive tackle. Even I went with an offensive tackle earlier in today's mock draft just to mix things up. Give you a little spoiler if you made it this far in today's video. But Freeling, another very interesting option, the Georgia tackle, not who we went actually with in today's mock draft on our end of things, but another option. I think he's raw. I think he's a developmental guy, maybe not a day one starter for you, which again, that's a struggle for me. If you're going to even go offensive lineman at 13, which I'm already going to be frustrated with, I 100% need that guy to be a day one starter. I don't think Freeling starts over Warren McClendon at right tackle. I don't think he has versatility to guard, unlike some of the other options, Spencer Fano and Francis Maui Noah, who you could kick inside as potential Steve Avila replacements or injury jump-ins and get that day one contribution from those guys, or they might even be upgrades over what you have. I don't think Freeling's necessarily an upgrade over Warren McClendon, at least not from day one. Maybe he can be that in the long term, but I don't see that right now. Caleb Lomu out of Utah, another guy like Monroe Freeling. He's a true tackle, unlike Francis Maui Noah, who has that kind of guard versatility. We also talked about Spencer Fano having a lot of guard versatility. Maybe he can play center. Not really the case with either of these two guys. These are true tackles at the end of the day. And I do think both of them are really solid players. I think Lomu would be an excellent pass blocker. You see the grades. Obviously, he's one of the better pass blockers in the entire class. But at the end of the day, if we spend the 13th overall pick on an offensive lineman, it is really going to frustrate me. But I think what you see from all of these picks is there is absolutely no consensus on what the Rams are going to do in the draft. At least not in the first round. Sean McVay and Les Snead continue to be masters of burying their intent on draft day. And that goes back to a lot of the frustrating, kind of annoying things that they do, at least as far as covering this team goes or being a diehard of this team goes. You want to know, what are they doing on draft night? I want to be able to tell you guys what I really feel like they're going to do on draft night. And I do have an idea, but they do everything they can to keep that idea from being as sound as it could possibly be, to keep you from achieving clarity on what the Rams might want to do. Limited numbers of pre-draft visits, very few to no top 30 visits. Combine meetings are kept under wraps as much as humanly possible, and Sean McVay and Les Snead do not attend the combine or offer a lot of pre-draft availability to be able to potentially spill secrets. I was honestly surprised by how much both of those guys spoke at the owners' meetings this year. That was even out of character. They continue to be excellent at keeping the draft plans under wraps, but I've still got somewhat of an idea. I still feel like very strongly at the end of the day, I'll even add that they want a receiver in round one. They want a receiving option to upgrade this offense in round 1. And if they can't get the one that they want on the first round of the draft, they'll find a way to do it on day 2. They're not getting out of this draft without a receiver. That is the one thing I know, and I think if they have it their way, they're going to do it on night 1, and they're going to do it with Makai Lemon. And I sourced that a lot of that to the pre-draft visits that this team has done and that they have made. Makai Lemon, huge one. The only absolute certified guaranteed this guy's going in the first round receiver that we know for a fact the Rams have met with is Makai Lemon. Outside of them, it's a lot of day 3 guys. It's a lot of guys that you could have on day 2, could have on day 3. I think there's a possibility of a double dip at receiver, even if they do get Makai Lemon. But the point is, the Rams have met with more receivers than they have any other position in this year's draft. They are doing their homework here. This is something they are aware is a need to continue to add depth behind Puka and Devontae. It's clear to me from both their interest in A.J. Brown, the conversations that they had with Philly, and all of the draft meetings that they're having, they're not satisfied with the group that they have at receiver, and they will make an addition. Let me know who you want it to be. I'm putting you on the clock right now. You make the call. All 6 of those guys are available. Who are the Rams coming away with that's going to make you the most happy, that you feel like helps this offense take the biggest step in 2026 and compete for the Super Bowl championship in our hometown that we all absolutely want? Another Super Bowl win at SoFi Stadium coming in 2026. Who's helping us get there? Let me know in the comments which of those receivers you think is going to be a future LA Ram, and we will see you in the next one. As always, thank you for watching, and as always, let's go Rams.